Belarus. Привіт і ласкаво просимо. Як справи? Добре? Belarus. Belarus is a country in the east of Europe bordering Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia. Though Belarus is technically its own country, it is far from an independent country. I'll give you some backstory. Belarus, officially the Republic of Belarus, is a landlocked country in Eastern Europe, bordering Russia to the east and northeast, Ukraine to the south, Poland to the west, and Lithuania and Latvia to the northwest. Since the end of the 18th century, Belarus was occupied by the Russian Empire. However, Belarus declared a short-lived national republic on March 25, 1918, only to be forcibly absorbed by the Bolsheviks into what became the Soviet Union. During the Second World War, Belarus became occupied by Nazi Germany. However, it was retaken by Stalin's Russia in 1944 and remained under Soviet control until declaring its sovereignty on July 27, 1990, and independence from the Soviet Union on August 25, 1991. And on September 19, 1991, Belarus gained its independence. Now that we have briefly covered Belarus's history, let's look at Belarus in present time. Currently, Belarus is under a dictatorship and has been for a long time. This is the way the Belarusian government has become to function. Now, when I say function, I don't mean function in a normal modern way. I mean function in a Russian terrorism supporting way. A way that continuously infuriates the citizens and has them locked up for not supporting Russian terrorism, for not going along with everything the government says and taking it as gospel. If this sounds familiar to you, it probably is because this is the exact way the Russian Federation's government functions. Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko has been the dictator of Belarus since July 24th, 1994, when the Belarusian presidential office was established, making him Europe's longest-sitting European president. Lukashenko is currently 68 years old, 2 years younger than Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, who recently turned 70, though the Kremlin had to put off his birthday celebrations due to complications on the front. They're losing in Ukraine. Now, if you don't know much about the war in Ukraine or Russia or Belarus, then you might be wondering, why is the war in Ukraine relevant to Belarus? Why is Russia so relevant to Belarus if Belarus became an independent country in 1991? I'm here to explain that to you. Though Belarus technically became an independent nation in 1991, it's remained under Russian dictation. Lukashenko is Putin's biggest fan, biggest supporter, best friend. He's made it clear that Belarus is the only country that has remained supporting Russia through everything. The invasion of Georgia in 2008, the invasion of Crimea and the Donbass in 2014, the invasion of all of Ukraine in 2022. He will continue to support that. Everything that comes out of Putin's mouth is gospel of sorts to Lukashenko. He attempts to tell citizens that the Russian Federation is right, everything they do and say is right, including the invasion of Georgia in 2008, the invasion of Crimea and the Donbass in 2014, and the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. However, unfortunately for Lukashenko, but fortunately for the rest of the world, Belarusian citizens have been strained further from the Belarusian government. They aren't supporting the Russian Federation. They aren't supporting the Belarusian government. They're supporting Ukraine and Ukrainian citizens. They're saying that they stand with them. They have been raising money for Ukraine, hosting music festivals and fundraisers, knowing the consequences that could follow. Though, sadly, just because the citizens have rebelled does not mean that Belarus is going to stop supporting the Russian Federation anytime soon. In fact, Belarus has been known to fire missiles at Ukraine through the entire war, and recently has claimed that Poland, a country with no nuclear weapons, has launched a nuclear attack on them. The propaganda, if anything, is just amusing. A nuclear attack from a country with no nuclear weapons. It doesn't make sense, but it gives you a good laugh. Belarusian allegations of a Polish nuclear attack came up around the same time that the Polish and U.S. government were talking about placing U.S. nuclear weapons inside of Poland. However, the U.S. Defense Ministry stated that they have no plan to place nuclear weapons in Poland, therefore further disproving Belarusian allegations that there is a nuclear attack when Poland has no access to nuclear weapons. But it's Belarusian propaganda, so why not blame Ukraine, Estonia, Georgia, Finland? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's because Poland has been one of Ukraine's biggest supporters. However, Estonia, Georgia, Finland, the UK, and the US have as well. But Poland is right there, and Poland has been getting extremely mad and is one of the more likely countries to become in possession of nuclear weapons. However, countries more like Estonia and Georgia probably aren't. Now, that is not to say that Ukraine could not become in nuclear possession. Once again, Ukraine definitely could, considering they even host the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant. That's going to be the end of today's video. I will upload again soon. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Do побачення.